Hello, everyone watching. I am the not-so-humble host of All Things Pop Culture Kaboom, Jimmy Jones. He is co-host Blake Heyer.
Howdy, howdy.
And we are discussing the latest upcoming movies. Just an update, the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show will return to the airwaves Sunday, April 12th on KNVC 95.1 FM in Northern Nevada and globally on KNVC 95.1 FM's website, www.knvc.org. In case you didn't know, the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show is a 3-hour talk format program Sunday nights, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time, where Blake and I will be relaying and discussing news from the 7 pillars of pop culture entertainment, and we'll also have guests from said 7 pillars live on FM radio, so won't you join us? And now the upcoming movies. Each week, the Film Powers That Be release dozens of movies in theaters, on VOD, and on streaming services, some of which you will never hear about except here. Each week's upcoming releases are carefully picked over from various websites, and up to 5 films are randomly selected from the only genres I would truly watch, which are action-adventure, horror, science fiction, animated, or fantasy, and that is pretty much it. With that in mind, we only go off what is available to you, the movie viewing public, and sit through some of the most hideous trailers ever made, and we'll read you the synopsis of each of the films and give you our not-so-humble opinions. Bear in mind, we are not professional movie critics, we are just overly opinionated blowhards, but Pop Culture Kaboom utilizes a carefully crafted and patented movie rating system, which goes as follows. If it is worth seeing in a theater at full price, it is a good, not a great. That is to be determined by you if you choose to see it in a theater. If it is worth seeing in a theater as a matinee or in your town's cheap theater, it is a so-so. If it should be seen on a streaming service or as a rental or however you choose to watch the film while avoiding social interaction, it is a blah. If it is deemed so awful you should wait for it to be on public television, it is considered a touch brown. And here are the movies coming out the week of April 2nd through April 5th. And with it being a short release week due to the big release of Super Mario's Galaxy on Wednesday, April 1st, which we discussed in the last video, there are only, these are the only ones I could find that meet my criteria. You can watch the actual trailers and the links in the description of the video, and Pop Culture Kaboom recommends whenever possible, watch newly released films as they were intended in your local theaters. So I'm going to throw a dartboard at the proverbial dartboard and start with...
You're going to throw a dartboard at the dartboard, huh?
Yeah, throw a dart at the dartboard. And, oh, by the way, I warned you about some of these trailers, didn't I?
Yeah, yikes. I wasn't ready.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I think I said last week, I actually started with these ones and actually went to the ones we talked last week, so I was a little fresher when when I was watching these ones.
All right, and it looks like we're going to start with Papa Bear. And here's the synopsis. Papa Bear follows spirited troublemaker Maria, whose pranks finally push her exhausted father to the limit. Hoping to teach her discipline, he whisks her away to their remote family cabin. But when a mysterious forest encounter transforms him into a bear, brought to life on screen by a real trained bear, Maria must protect her newly furry father from a determined local hunter. Along the way, through hilarious mishaps and unexpected bonding, they discover that the wild has a way of bringing families closer together, one unforgettable bear hug at a time. Okay, and here's my thoughts on this. I went into Papa Bear expecting the sugary, lobotomized comfort of a Hallmark Kids movie of the week. Instead, I found the cinematic equivalent of the Ludovico technique from A Clockwork Orange. If the CIA is looking for a new enhanced interrogation tool, look no further. 5 minutes of this film would have the most hardened operative weeping their deepest secrets just to make the screen go dark. I'm still not entirely sure if the film was poorly dubbed or if the audio sync was simply operating in a different time zone, but the result triggered a form of sensory OCD I didn't even know I possessed. I honestly believe the casting process was the producers driving a windowless van past a local bus stop and shouting, "Who wants to voice act for a sandwich?" No experience was required, and clearly none was provided. The father's performance is a particular triumph of anti-charisma. His monotone delivery is so profoundly deadpan that it makes the Terminator look like an overly emotional Shakespearean actor. Then there is the narrative, a term I use with extreme generosity. The central concept is that Dad turns into a bear, but why? The movie offers no explanation. This transformation triggers a sort of backwoods Home Alone featuring a cast of antagonists who appear to be motivated by nothing more than the fact that they were already standing in the woods when the camera started rolling. I didn't realize a family film could cause genuine psychological scarring, but here it is as a bold experiment in how much an audience will endure before they start questioning their own reality. Papa Bear just isn't a movie, it's a test of human endurance. It is a masterpiece of the so bad it's actually dangerous genre, which it's in on its own. If you haven't guessed by now, I give this a touch brown. What say you?
Okay, so the synopsis is just Disney's Brave, isn't it? And then I saw the trailer and I thought, oh, this is more like Brave with a Bart Simpson-esque main character in the little girl and D-tier Home Alone antics. I hope the dubbing is better in the actual movie than it is in the trailer. It really gave off the feel that the voiceover artists recorded their lines in different rooms on different days on different planes of existence. This is definitely something that could only have been shot in Russia. Trained bears are still very dangerous, and if any of these scenes with a 13-year-old actress, I looked it up, a 13-year-old actress, were shot with an actual bear and not with a touch of movie magic, well, I can just picture the clown show that would have happened over here if that information had gotten out. It's strange to see a Russian movie make its way to the American markets, and if nothing else, I'd be curious to see how Eastern European humor translates here. But even with that said, I saw nothing of substantial entertainment value here. I'm agreeing that this is a touch brown.
Okay, the first mud brick of the three. I'm sure we're going to have more.
Maybe.
I'm sure we're going to have more. All right, and I did not know that was Russian.
Yes, it was Russian. I even looked up the film and the actress involved to see how old she was, because I'm like, if that's a real bear and yes, she was 13. I said that would not have flown over here.
A 13-year-old Russian that probably was her pet.
Possibly. I could have just seen, a little Russian girl riding a bear. Nothing to see here. This is perfectly normal.
Just Russia.
This is perfectly normal for
That's
Russian TV. We call that Russian tap water, the vodka.
All right, that'll get us banned. Anyway, what is next?
To heck with them if they can't take the
joke. Move along.
Moving along. So the next one on to slide across the firing range would be the Blue Trail. In a not-so-distant dystopian future where the government sends seniors to isolated colonies under the guise of boosting the economy, 77-year-old Teresa decides her story is far from over. Refusing to surrender her independence, she embarks on a journey to pursue the dreams she is not yet ready to abandon. Along the way, she discovers freedom, companionship, and the joys of going wherever the river takes her. So here's my opinion on this. This is just Brazilian Logan's Run with a longer time limit. I wish the trailer had been a touch clearer on what exactly was going on. The trailer was framed like a thriller, and I strongly get the feeling that it isn't. This had more of the feeling of a coming-of-age drama coming from the other end of the spectrum, i.e. the retirement home, with our elderly protagonist trying to experience what she can with what time she has left before she's either hauled away to the Botox testing factory or whatever they do with the old folks.
Glue factory.
Or becoming the protagonist of the newest Anaconda film. A lot of the imagery in the trailer sailed by too fast or felt too random to get a good feel for what exactly was going on. But unlike Papa Bear elsewhere on this list, the cultural differences and the location in this actually had me a little intrigued to see where they were going with all this. So I'm actually going to give this a so-so.
Wow, okay. Wow, I did not see that coming.
There was enough substantial there and enough of a culture. They really made the Brazilian culture part of it feel more relevant to this one, is where the other one just happened to be Russian. Mm-hmm. And so it made me kind of want to see what kind of cultural items make it in there to make it feel something different than you'd see in normal American filmmaking.
Okay. Well, the Blue Trail, I am currently scouring the depths of my vocabulary to find a sophisticated way to describe the trailer for the Blue Trailer. Its relationship to the official synopsis and the precise moment of temporary insanity that led me to add this to my list this week. Yeah. Judging by the lone haunting comment left on the 6-month-old trailer, I'm not the only victim of this cinematic bait and switch. A moment of silence for poor Alicia. Who was somehow bamboozled like Blake into believing that she was taking a gander at a high-stakes thriller. Lisa, if you are watching this, blink twice if the algorithm is holding you hostage. The trailer itself is a dizzying exercise in confusion, but I managed to distill the entire plot down to one singular, undeniable takeaway. Grandma can officially scratch that leisurely Amazon riverboat cruise off her bucket list. There's a certain morbid curiosity in seeing a film that manages to con both its audience and its own marketing department simultaneously. But this ain't it. I'm giving it a touch brown. All right. So,
Grandma's bucket list is getting shorter by the minute.
yeah. Okay. So those are the. We only got 3 movies this week, which brings us to the 40-ounce Snow Monkey in the room this week. Usually, if it's a normal movie, it's a 40-ounce monkey. If it is a blockbuster-esque movie that I think will do well at the box office, it is considered the 400-pound gorilla in the room. But since it is called the Yeti, it is a 40-ounce snow monkey. And here is the synopsis. When an oil tycoon and a famous adventurer vanish into the harsh winter of remote northern Alaska, a hand-picked rescue team endeavors to bring them home. What they don't know is that they are trespassing on the Yeti's territory. And the elements are the least of their worries. A blood-spattered survival horror featuring a towering beast and gruesome practical effects. The Yeti harkens back to a time when monster movies were king. And that is your synopsis. And here is my thoughts. It's truly a tragedy that we've moved past the era where a trailer would tell you enough about a movie that it entices you to want to go see it. Between the frantic quick cuts and lighting so aggressively dim it makes the Snyder Cut look like a Wes Anderson film, I'm not entirely sure what I saw. If the editors hadn't slapped 1947 on the screen, I would have assumed we were deep in some Rocketeer cinematic universe or a gritty reboot of Frosty the Snowman by the same crew that gave us Winnie the Pooh, Blood or Honey. I'll admit I have a soft spot for gnarly nature hates us creature features. I grew up on the classics. The Prophecy, the mutant bear one, not the Christopher Walken's Angels with Attitudes flick. Alligator, remember that one? Alligator? Oh yeah. And Sewers will never be the same. And Humanoids from the Deep, just to name a few. The Yeti is clearly sweating through its parka trying to conjure that same brand of gory nostalgia, but it misses the mark by a Himalayan mile. See what I did there? That's punny.
You'll find Himalayan in the
punny.
road.
Yeah. Or something laying in the road. Ew. Maybe it's because I'm no longer a kid who accepts every plot hole as atmosphere. Now I suffer from a debilitating condition called logic. And so I have to point out, no one goes to Alaska in the dead of winter on purpose. A rescue team? Absolutely not. Tell the survivors to hunker down and we'll check back in May when the permafrost softens. To round out this band of Yeti cannon fodder, they've included the mandatory stereotypical Southern Fried Oak Ridge Boys. While the trailer doesn't explicitly state their profession, I'd bet they are the expert trackers who not only will be making all of the racist and misogynistic remarks, they will also be the first ones turned into Yeti jerky. So would I watch this? Yes, absolutely. But I'll be honoring the sacred tradition of the creature features that came before it. I'll be watching it from my couch. So I give it a blah. What say you?
Now we have some good old American grindhouse feels. Another horror trailer, another trailer that's too dark to see what's going on. On one hand, it's good for them for not giving away too much in the trailer and letting the tension simmer a little bit. On the other, I would have liked to have seen an example of some of the practical effects that the description was banging on about. Also, it's bold to kill a character in the first 10 seconds of a trailer, telling you, well, I'm not getting invested in that character when I go to watch this. And nothing about this trailer harkened back to a time when monster movies were king. Around the end of the trailer, there's a lot of shots that seem to suggest that there are other elements at play other than the titular Yeti itself, so that was intriguing, but this whole thing has the initial feel of a low-budget Tarantino movie, and that will either whet your appetite or send you running for the snow-covered hills. Having been in 2 killer Sasquatch films in the form of Tahoe Joe 2 and 3 myself, I'm usually fairly amused by these kind of films. I feel my opinion of this film would hinge wildly on one of 2 things. One, if I saw it with friends to knock a bit of a laugh out of it, that might bring the score of the whole thing up a little for me. And 2, if towards the end of the film we find out there's some sort of cult involved, that would drastically drop my opinion of the film. But ultimately, my opinion has a wide range it could land on, but ultimately I'm giving it a blah.
Ah, okay. party at Blake's house to watch the Yeti.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, I've been in a few Sasquatch movies, so for me, that might be kind of fun to sit there and be like, why that? Or that was just a chance to knock a bit of crack out of it.
And we will have to play the jump scare drinking game while we're at it, because there's going to be jump scares.
Oh my goodness, of course there is, hence the low budget part.
All right, the 40-ounce snow monkey in the room lives up to its reputation, getting applause from both Blake and I.
That's why I never learned any.
So that's the movies that are coming out this coming week, this short week of April 2nd through April 5th. The next video we'll be doing, and it'll be the last one that is not attached to the radio show. We'll be talking about the upcoming movies that will be coming out April 6th through April 12th. And here are the winners that will be, at least at this juncture, that we'll be talking about. Mermaid. The look on your face of confusion tells me everything I need to know. Faces of Death. Can you believe they actually did a remake of that?
Is that the same? Okay.
That's a
that
remake.
Was the first thing I thought of. I'm like, I remember Faces of Death. Hold on.
Which is actually kind of funny because, no, I can't say that. Never mind. K-O-C-H-A and then a big uppercase O. So,
when will they learn that writing in...
Cow? I don't know what it's
When will they learn that writing in Leet script isn't cool anymore?
I don't know. Exit 8.
I wonder if that's...
South Korean psychological horror.
Okay. There's a video game called Exit 8, and I wonder if there's any relation there.
Don't know, but knowing you'll probably research it and find out.
Most likely.
And I'm going to have a difficult time pronouncing this one. I think it's out of Bollywood. It's both Bangla. I'm going to put it up on the screen because I can't pronounce it.
That's going to be a fun trailer no matter what.
Yeah, Bollywood usually
I'm not saying
has the best trailers.
Going to be good. I'm just saying it'll be fun.
You know what? Since we've been doing since Bollywood's been kind of infesting the North America lately.
Infesting being an interesting choice of word there.
They do have some of the best trailers. I tell you, the visual effects that they've been utilizing lately are phenomenal. They are literally being able to compete with Hollywood as far as the level of with CGI and action and sequences and fight scenes and everything else. So it's been entertaining to see Bollywood in the latest edition. Of course, it is Bollywood, so they're going to have dance routines.
Oh, of course. But so, I mean, if they didn't, is it Bollywood at that point?
No, it's not. So that's the great part. So, but those are the 5 films we'll be talking about next week. So a regular week of movies. We haven't yet decided which one's going to be the 40-ounce monkey. So tune in next week. We'd like to know what you think about all of these here movies. Do you think they are good and plan to see them in theaters, or are they, in your opinion, a touch brown? Please leave a comment and let us know. Thank you for watching this video to the end, and it would go a long way and be very much appreciated if you gave this video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed what you just got done watching, check out the other videos on the channel, and if you like the content, please subscribe so we have a reason to keep posting videos about the 7 pillars of pop culture entertainment. To be informed when the next video will be posted, ring the crap out of that notification bell. And if you'd like to get more news and information about the 7 pillars of pop culture entertainment from Pop Culture Kaboom Daily, check out Pop Culture Kaboom on Facebook and also check out Pop Culture Kaboom on Instagram. Social media links are in the description of this video below, as well as the trailer links for each movie that we talked about this week. So until next video, peace out, Wabbits.